We continue today's inductions by honoring Greg Witter, a proud Murrow graduate whose career reflects the depth, versatility, and public service spirit at the heart of the Murrow legacy. A Spokane native from a family of devoted Cougs, Greg earned his journalism degree and launched a communications career spanning more than 4 decades. He began as a newspaper reporter before serving as press secretary in both the U.S. House and Senate. And later, he spent 15 years at Alaska Airlines, rising to managing director of corporate communications. There, he helped the airline's widely praised response to Flight 261 tragedy, setting new standards in how corporations handle crisis communications. Greg is the co-founder and executive editor of CougFan.com, the award-winning CBS sports website covering Washington State athletics since 1998. Today, he continues to mentor future communications professionals as an adjunct professor at Seattle University. Please join me in watching this video tribute to Greg Witter.
The family history at WSU actually goes way back. My grandfather grew up in Palouse country. He would regale my cousin John and I with stories about Lone Star Deeds and all the great Cougar athletes and coaches from the day. So we were indoctrinated early, but the biggest influence for me was my brother Steve. He's 7 years older.
I think Greg was destined to be a Coug from the time he was 11 years old, and I can point to the month. It was November of 1972.
I think it was November 11th, 1972 was my first trip to Pullman.
He made his first trip to campus.
We went down to see the Cougs play Stanford.
The Cougars beat Stanford 27-13.
We were convinced that this place was an oasis.
He talked about that day for months.
We had to go to school here.
There's no need to look anywhere. In 1980, I will be enrolling at Washington State.
We had an all-star lineup of professors in those days. Tom Huderman, he was the chairman of the department, Chuck Cole, and Glenn Johnson. But the thing about all three was they were very demanding, but also nurturing in their own ways. If you got through that gauntlet, you were pretty well positioned to go work out in the real world.
Being around Greg, I said he's a fun guy, but he's dead serious when it comes to his craft. I didn't go to the Edward Murrow College, but he taught me a lot just being around him. And just the way he is, he's the consummate professional. And before a story is put out there, you better check your sources and make sure that they can count on them.
He started off on a traditional path in traditional media. From there, he then jumped off to governmental communications, and then to corporate communications in Seattle, and then into digital communications with CougFan. So I don't frankly know anybody who has had that kind of impact across so many venues. That's really unique and special.
I moved to Seattle in 1989 and would always complain about the lack of Cougar coverage in the Seattle market, which made no sense to us because so many Cougars are here. Lo and behold, this thing called the internet gets invented.
One day I came in and said, hey, I'm interested in learning how to build a website. I don't really have anything to build it about. You seem to be like really crazy about the Cougars. Maybe we can combine our interests and put this together.
And it just started to slowly build, and then we started making a little bit of money so we could hire freelancers and others.
No one else compares to the quality of the work that would come out of CougFan to this day. That kind of legacy is special, and it speaks to the man that Greg Witter is.
When we started CougFan, we kind of had 2 cornerstones. Well, 3 actually. One was to inform Cougar Nation about what's going on with their team. 2, to create what we called a cyber pub where everybody can gather to talk about their shared passion. And the 3rd was to give Murrow students practical experience. And I just felt it's the one thing you can do as a graduate to enhance people coming up behind you, is to give them opportunities that make a difference. And we knew if we gave these Murrow kids a chance to work covering a big-time football program, basketball program, and with us as seasoned professionals guiding them, that we could help make a difference for them.
It's not surprising to me that Greg would choose WSU to be at the top of the list where he would want to invest his time and energy, because he got a lot out of the university, and I know it's part of him that he wants to give back.
The body of work in terms of giving back to Washington State. There are very few people that, in my mind, measure up to Greg Witter.
Greg's a very humble person. I mean, I don't think he really tries to draw accolades to himself, so I'm thrilled that he's got this recognition because he certainly deserves it. He's done a lot, I think, not just in the community, not just for the field of communications, but for his alma mater.
It's incredibly gratifying to look back over 27 years at the dozens of young people that we gave a boost to. We helped get them launched.
Greg, congratulations on this award. I can't think of anyone who is more deserving. The whole family is very proud.
I'm super thrilled about your recognition here. I just want to say one thing, Yoda Man.
I want to thank you for being a great friend and for all that you've done for Washington State University, the place that you and I both love. And so I'm glad you're being honored for all the things that you've achieved. Go Cougs.
Wasn't expecting it, had no idea, I was just absolutely in shock. Murrow's been an integral part of my life, and of course it's one of the premier communication schools in the country. Named after arguably the foremost reporter in the history of the United States. So it was a huge deal. I can't tell you how honored I was when I got there.
I'm sure that at some time every one of us have been to cougfan.com. It is more than a website. It is a catalyst for community building and Cougar pride in an amazing way. That in and of itself is a recognition deserving of this award. So congratulations, Greg. Please join us to get your award.
Nothing starts without the glasses. Thank you to Bruce, to Lori Jordan, and the entire Murrow team for this beautiful event tonight. Thank you to Jeff Collier for the wonderful videos that we saw tonight. And thank you to the advisory board, and especially to Lori Dankers for making this night possible for me. It's a special night, but it's made more special by being here alongside Sherry Nebel. I had the good fortune, growing up on the mean streets of Spokane, to have two older siblings, Steve and Kathy, who chose wisely when it came time to go to college. And they thereby ensured that I too would choose wisely in becoming a WSU Cougar. Reflecting in recent weeks and months about my time in the Murrow College, I found myself reliving the flop sweats induced by Tom Huderman, the chairman of the department at the time, who proclaimed on day one of advanced reporting that any misspelled word or typo each would result in a full letter grade deduction. This was a terrifying statement because you need to understand something about 1982, 83, 84. There was no spell check. There was no internet. There were no computers. There were no cell phones. You were on your own to spell correctly. More broadly, though, our powerhouse lineup of Murrow professors, one of my favorites of whom, Glenn Johnson, is here with us tonight. I'm thrilled about that. Glenn and all of our Murrow professors drilled into us that careers in this arena, be it journalism, public relations, or other versions of it, our careers must be built on a five-part foundation. That foundation consisted of diligence, authenticity, objectivity, clarity, and perhaps above all, curiosity to ask how and why over and over and over. These guideposts are more relevant now than ever to produce the critical thinkers, dogged researchers, and powerful storytellers required to cut through the hokum that is undermining the fabric of our society today through grievance-fueled social media, truth-bending AI, and feckless leaders in the nation's capital. I take heart in this, and I hope you do as well. The Murrow College is producing the communication leaders of tomorrow who will elevate fact over fog and common sense over nonsense. Words cannot describe my pride in the Murrow mission, my pride in being a Murrow graduate, and my pride in wearing crimson and gray. My brilliant and beautiful wife, Anne, who sadly hails from a school that shall not be named, once asked why Cougs possess such an uncommon allegiance to their alma mater. My answer was this: Washington State University isn't just in the education business, it's in the relationship business. For me, Pullman, WSU, and the Murrow College were the gateway to a world of fascinating paths. The experiences, the opportunities, and the people here set me on my way. Looking out across the room, I see so many dear friends and colleagues from Murrow, from the HEO house, we got a big contingent over here, and from the broader WSU community. This is what Washington State University is all about, right here. And this is why WSU is one of one. I'm so honored you're here and thankful for the roles, big, small, and everywhere in between, that so many of you have played in my journey. Anne, my wife, one of the nation's few lovable huskies, is somebody I'm going to give a quick shout out here because she not only indulges my love affair with Washington State, but she encourages it, and she's only slightly miffed that at very tender ages I convinced our young kids, Alex and Ryan, that crimson is far better than purple. My cousin John Witter, lifelong friend and partner in crime. We were fifth graders, as you heard earlier, in 1972 when our parents, our wonderful, great parents, the four parents, organized a trek with Grandpa to see the Cougs beat Stanford. That was our first introduction to Pullman, and we left mesmerized. So mesmerized that I still have the ticket stub. And so mesmerized that 26 years later we struck upon an idea, cougfan.com, to bring Cougs from around the globe together each day to indulge in a shared bond. A community built around facts and reasoned opinion is what makes CougFan an enduring enterprise. Lastly, my brother Steve, a 1976 Murrow grad. He has been a role model and mentor, personally and professionally, since Mom and Dad broke the news in 1961 that for the next decade he would be sharing his bedroom with a little brother. An advocate, sounding board, and confidant, every kid in America should be so blessed to have a big brother like mine. I would not be speaking with you tonight were it not for his steady guidance and unwavering support. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for this incredible honor. Go Cougs.